Okay, well, here's the gas tank from my 1984 Honda XR80. Unfortunately, there's been a bit of a shitty situation here. As you can see, there's a couple patches on my tank. Well, there's some pinholes in it. This tank had the ever so slightest bit of rust in the bottom of it, and I went to Esso gas station and filled up my tank before I went riding last week, or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, anyhow. And my bike ran okay, and then it started running progressively worse, and I couldn't figure it out, so I thought, it feels like my bike is running out of gas. So I checked my gas tank. You can't see in there because I don't have a flashlight at the moment. Oh, wait a minute, yes I do. Look at all that shit. You see that? That gasoline with ethanol in it fucking destroyed my gas tank in a very short time period. See all that rust? The inside of my tank used to be perfectly clean. See? That's where the gas wasn't sitting. That's where the gas was sitting. Fucking terrible shit. Don't ever buy Esso gasoline. It's freaking garbage. And ethanol shit. Ruins everything. Anyway. So I noticed that I could smell gas. And thought, oh, okay, maybe my carburetor overflowed or something. And I happened to realize the bottom of my tank was dripping, which is my next point. I made a patch, and it seems to work very well. And all I used to make said patch was blue shop towel and high performance cyan acrylate, however you pronounce that, RC super glue. Like this, you put model airplanes together and models together with this shit. It's super strong. So what I did, just to hold some kerosene in the tank for a little while, just to swish it around to wash out of the gunk, was I put a piece of this over the holes, and then I just soaked it with the glue and left it to sit overnight. And I thought, I wonder how long that's, because that's freaking hard as a rock. It's not coming off of there. So I did a test with it, because I know that ethanol eats everything. Well, this is worse than ethanol. This is methanol. And I've had this piece sitting in the methanol for over a week, and it is still hard as plastic and hasn't dissolved, but it's still slightly flexible. And it will dry out and still stay hard. So that's kind of interesting. And then the next one, this is the color of the gas that I bought at the gas station. Yeah. From Esso. Fuck you, Esso, you ruined my gas tank. I called them, and you know what they said? Prove it. Anyways, so I had another piece here sitting in the gasoline, and it's rock hard, and it's been sitting in there for, well, I guess now 2 weeks. So both of these samples have been sitting in this shit for 2 weeks. Fucking rotten shit. And have not been affected. So this is my homemade gas tank patch job, I should say. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to let those sit in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand all this down, here and here, where the 3 holes are. And then I'm going to sand the area, clean it really, really well, and then I'm going to put another patch over top of that. And see what happens. Now, the other thing is, I noticed that I let this tank sit full of diesel fuel, just to keep the rust away, because diesel fuel is a great oil. It keeps the rust away from pretty much anything. So I let that sit in there for almost a week. I'm going to be doing the vinegar treatment, where you fill the tank up with vinegar and let it soak, and it eats the rust off. Then you swish some marbles around and baking soda and water and swish that around, get that out, and then use about a bottle of that, pour it in, swish that around. That'll absorb the water. Then you just put a thin coating of 2-stroke oil inside your tank, and you're ready to go again. So I let this tank sit with diesel fuel in it for, almost 2 weeks. And this shit is fucking unfazed. Nothing. It won't even come off of it. It's like permanently welded on. And it didn't leak. So I don't recommend trying this. Maybe not with a plastic gas tank. Maybe try it with an old lawnmower or something like that, or whatever. Or some kind of metal tank that, maybe if you're really desperate and that's, like, this is all I had. It's just an improvised patch. It's just super glue and particularly this brand, this Instacure stuff, this super glue, and just blue shop towel, and that's all I use. And I just wiped the area down with some methyl hydrate, which is methanol, to get all the oil and shit away from there, and then I just patched it on and let it sit. It's fine. So, and it will hold pretty much anything. If that shit can withstand methanol and gasoline, it's fine. I'm going to put another piece over top and see what happens. But yeah, I thought I'd just share that. I'm going to be cleaning this tank more and actually probably have it blasted and repainted and shit, but that's probably at a later date. But yeah, this stuff just like, it's like cotton. Like, it's, if you rip it, it's kind of really fibrous. So basically, it almost made like a fiberglass situation. It's obviously not glass, it's cotton, but still. Like an impregnated cotton bandage for a gas tank, if you will. And it seems to be holding up perfect. Let's see if we can find anything metal here. A pair of scissors aren't sharp enough. Like, a second here. Like, that doesn't even fucking scratch, not even with a sharp side of the pair of scissors here I'm using. Barely even scratches. See that? Barely put a mark in it. I actually did more damage to my paint job than I did the patch. So I just thought I'd share that because I found that pretty interesting. Maybe save somebody some money, you know. You don't have a lot of money, but you have a little bit of this cyanoacrylate, whatever the fuck you call it, and some blue shop towel laying around. And maybe you can just get yourself out of a shitty situation, maybe with an old motorcycle you dug out of someone's barn that has a hole in the tank, and you could just kind of patch it up good enough to get it running again. But yeah, so kind of interesting. And usually when you let anything sit in methanol, like paint, this shit will eat paint, fucking stickers, all sorts of stuff. It'll destroy vinyl, you know, it'll eat plastic eventually. It even destroys rubber, like shit like this grommet here, it'll fucking eat that stuff, no problem. So, and the gasoline that's sitting in here has slightly evaporated over the course of a week. But that was 91 octane gasoline with 10% ethanol from Esso gas station. Don't fucking ever buy that shit. Well, old metal tanks like this, the best thing you can use is if you have a Chevron in your area and they sell 94 octane, it'll say no ethanol in the pump. I mean, it's like that around my area, wherever you guys are from. Maybe it's not like that, but I know down in the States they like to put a lot of ethanol in the gasoline, up to 20% in some places. And that shit destroys stuff. I worked in the, you know, fixing lawnmowers and weed whackers there in a shop for a couple of years, and as soon as that ethanol shit hit the shelf, man, freaking used to the people coming in with, oh, it only sat for less than a year. Look at the carburetor diaphragm, it's all hardened up, all the fuel lines are rotting, falling off. Freaking terrible shit. Just think of what that's doing to the inside of your vehicle, your actual car that you drive to work every day. Yeah, not fucking happy about that. The other thing is, I'm going to be making another video. I'm going to go buy some more gasoline, and what I'm going to do is put it in a tube, like a glass tube, right? And then the idea is to mix a little bit of water with that gasoline to see if the water will attract the ethanol and see if the volume will change in the bottom. And see if I can actually pull the water out of the gasoline somehow. That's going to be an upcoming video. I will show that. Anyways, this fucking video is getting long enough. It's going to take a cow's aged up fucking load. So anyways, cheers. Just give that a try maybe on something. Like I said, this shit. Blue shop towel. Anyways, guys, take it easy. Over and out. Rock on.